Hey, welcome to the Chef's Table, a weekly video series for professional women who want to go from being a corporate employee to following their dreams of being a culinary entrepreneur. I'm your host, Chef Evelyn. This is the place for successful women who want to live, cook, and work on their own terms. So if that's you, let's get started. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Chef's Table. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how going from corporate employee to culinary entrepreneur is basically like going back to kindergarten. So I know that may be an extreme example, but rock with me today because I think it will be helpful. I think it will help you to alleviate some stress and frustration. I know for me it was when I got this concept, and I think it will help you start off or readjust and get on the right foot when it comes to building your business. So here's the thing, right, that I've talked about before, but I'm going to talk about in a little bit more detail today. And that is that when you have gone to college and gotten your education and you're working in corporate America, whether you've got a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD or 2 masters or 2 bachelors or whatever the case may be, right? You know that you're a fairly intelligent woman. You know that, you have been able to be successful in your chosen career field. You know that you've been able to move up in positions and move up the ladder and make more money. You know that you are good at what you do. And that's amazing. And at the same time, the challenge sometimes can be is that when we get ready to switch careers or switch industries or switch the way we earn money, employee versus entrepreneur, that we think it's a lateral move. And it's not necessarily, and that's not something to discourage us. It's something to help us understand where we are in the process. Now, it's not about 100% starting from scratch, but you are starting over in a sense. And let me tell you what I mean when I say when I feel like going from corporate employee to culinary entrepreneur is like going to kindergarten. When you think about corporate America and that world and that system, if you think about how we were brought up in school, for the most part, if you attended public school or private school, maybe, that from the time we were a very young child in our formative years, we were asked what did we want to do for a living. And in general, most of the advice that was given to us was about going to college and getting a good job. Nothing wrong with that, okay? Except for that path and that grooming does not work well for entrepreneurship. And so from the time we're in kindergarten, the way our school systems are designed to educate us, they are there to make us really amazing employees. And they do a great job of that. From the time we're in kindergarten, we have to raise our hand if we want to ask a question. We have to stand in line. We have to get permission to go to the bathroom. All of our enrichment courses and things like that about how to interview for a job, getting an internship, applying for college. And it's all a very direct path to getting you to be an amazing employee. Kudos to that system. However, if you have spent your life in that system and you have done well in that system, that is not the same system for entrepreneurship. So the things that served you well in corporate America and in that system do not laterally translate into being successful in culinary entrepreneurship. Now, that's not to say that you don't have transferable skills. You absolutely do, but it's not one-to-one. It's not you're at the top of your game in the corporate world, so you're going to be at the top of the game as soon as you switch over. You've got a lot of learning to do. You got to take in consideration, you might have been in your career 5, 10, 15, 20 years or more at this point. And so all the time from the time you were 5 years old till 18 plus college, right? So we're talking almost 20 years of education. And then you add another 10, 15 years on top of that of how long you've been in corporate America. And that's the only system that you know from a earning income standpoint. Maybe you've earned money on the side and you know the wonderful feeling it is to earn money from your own ideas or your own hands. Maybe you haven't. But it's a completely different it's a different ball game. It's a different system. It's a different way of functioning to be an entrepreneur. So that's the first thing, is that it the reason why it feels like starting over and sometimes it can be frustrating because nobody really tells you that it is a different system. And the second part of that is that the rules of engagement in corporate America are way different than the rules of engagement in entrepreneurship. Now, some of the rules do overlap. Relationships, for example, is something that is important in any area of life, not just career or business, but in family and volunteering and all this kind of stuff. Relationships are super important, but not necessarily all the things that are valued in corporate America are valued in entrepreneurship. Like, can I tell you a secret? I graduated from culinary school with honors. My clients really don't care about that, right? Like, is the food good? Am I learning? Are you delivering on what you promised? And do I like you? Whereas in corporate America, if I say that I graduated from engineering school with honors, which I don't think I did, I don't remember. Anyway, that's a little bit more important, right? And so it's a different system. And so what people value as an employee versus what they value when you're the business owner can differ. Yes, performance is always important. You always want to do an outstanding and amazing job. Yes, being likable is important and building relationships is important. But I mentioned in one of my videos that sometimes in corporate America, you can kind of slide on the radar. If you're having a tough season in life or you're just feeling burnt out, you can slide for a couple of months, still get paid, still do a pretty decent job, and you'll be fine. If you do that in entrepreneurship, you'll be out of business, right? So you absolutely cannot do that. So the reason why it's like starting over is because there's a whole new set of skills that you needed to learn to be an entrepreneur that aren't taught on the road to being an employee. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions I had was that I didn't need to know business. I didn't need to know marketing. I didn't need to know sales. I didn't need to know advertising. I didn't need to know social media for business. Overcoming objections and client retention and lead generation and all of these things that I'm talking about, right? Like, I had to learn all those things, and nothing in my corporate career fully prepared me for the role I have as a business owner. And so it felt like going to school all over again, that I was like, what I thought I knew, I didn't know. And what I thought I didn't know, I also didn't know. And it is like going to kindergarten. And that's the moment that you realize that being an entrepreneur is a marathon and not a sprint. That you are going to have to take the time to learn. You are going to have to invest in your education, that the things that are free on the internet, whether even if it's my videos or an article you read on Pinterest or on Forbes or someone's free webinar, it's going to tell you the what. It may even tell you the why, but it's not going to tell you the how. And so that's where you have to invest in. You have to go to college, and you have to pay to go to college to learn how to do the job that you have. And if you are as successful as I think you are, you've had continuing education over the years. The people who have become truly successful always keep learning. They always have a mentor. When I tell people about what I do on how I help professional women go from being corporate employees to culinary entrepreneurs, that you always need a mentor. I still have a business mentor, and I'm still learning and growing after all of these years, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Our favorite athletes of all times never said, I got it, I no longer need a coach. They never said that. And we know that, but we think that's not applicable to our corporate career or our culinary business, but it absolutely is true. And so a lot of people try to start over in kindergarten without a teacher. And it always saddens me when I see that, because I'm like, man, can you imagine if you had to go to school and teach yourself, the first time? Would you be where you are in your career right now? Probably not. Okay. Who knows where you would have ended up if you had to teach yourself how to write and how to read and how to do arithmetic and math and history and science. Like, there may have been some accidents along the way. So just something to consider. And if you're like, you know what, Evelyn, I do need some support, because it does feel like I'm learning this whole new world from scratch, then I encourage you to take my mini course, How to Go from Corporate Employee to Culinary Entrepreneur. That's going to walk you through step by step what you need to do to be a successful culinary entrepreneur in a way that doesn't sacrifice your sleep, your style, or your salary, okay? Because I know that you don't want to step down in lifestyle when you make this career change. You kind of want to be able to come across and then go up. So, anyway, I hope this video has been helpful to you, and let me know in the comments below, has entrepreneurship felt like starting over? Has it felt like going back to school? I know for me it did, and for me it has, but it's a journey that I have decided to embrace. And listen, I feel like I made it out of public school, and I feel like I'm in my master's PhD program now. So anyway, I will talk to you soon, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. If you're ready to make the transition from employee to entrepreneur, then make sure to register for From Corporate to Culinary. From Corporate to Culinary is a mini course designed to help professional women begin the process of following their passion. So whether you are still on the fence about following your dreams or you have already leaped from the corporate ladder, From Corporate to Culinary equips you with the tools you need to live, cook, and work on your own terms. For more details and to register, go to FromCorporateToCulinary.com. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a new episode. And to see what I'm cooking up behind the scenes, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Chef Evelyn. That's all for today, and I'll see you next week. Peace.